fastest show in sports.
Once upon a time, there used to be a Grand Canyon-esque divide between sports and gambling. You wanted to gamble? You went into the sports books in Las Vegas, then maybe Atlantic City and a few other places. Or if you want to go all the way back to really old times, you found somebody on the street corner who basically was a runner, and they were running policy slips for somebody, and the gambling was through a guy who had a crooked nose and would basically take a baseball bat to you if indeed you did not pay what you owed when you lost. That's all old school. Now, of course, it's new school where everything can be done so much easier, so much gambling can be done, so much money can be lost and lost and lost. And now that Grand Canyon is shrunken to about maybe an infinitesimally small little amount, now we have players involved. Gee, what a shock.
In the last few hours, 2 Cleveland Guardians pitchers have been indicted. Both have been suspended since last season. News 5's Mason Horodisky has been following this all day long.
Sunday afternoon, Guardians pitchers Luis Ortiz and Emmanuel Clase were indicted for their alleged contribution in a gambling scheme in which they would throw certain pitches and tip off co-conspirators for payment. Now, News 5 received the 23-page court document that alleges numerous examples of both men working mainly with 2 bettors on the scheme. Clase's involvement goes as far back as 2023, in which he would let a man that court documents list as better one know that he would throw a ball and a pitch slower than a particular speed in a sports book. One of these examples ended up paying as much as around $58,000. The document also suggests that Better One coordinated these plans over text messages, phone calls, and even in person, saying that Clase gave him tickets to attend a Guardians game on or about April 26th of this year. Clase then connected Ortiz to Better One in June of 2025. Both players have been suspended since July, and in total, documents say that Clase helped bettors win about $400,000, while Ortiz helped with $60,000. If convicted, both men are facing up to 65 years imprisonment. The Cleveland Guardians provided a statement to News 5 today saying they will fully cooperate with federal law enforcement and Major League Baseball as this investigation continues.
Okay, hands up from everybody who is completely and totally shocked that 2 members of the Cleveland Guardians baseball team are involved in pitch rigging, as it is now called, which is in essence cheating. Hands up. How many? None. Look at that. Nobody's surprised at all. Why? Because this is where we are right now. We are in a brand new era where gambling runs sports. Used to be the other way around. But now more than anything else in our lives, gambling makes sports run. Why? Because the sports leagues themselves, they're in bed. Every single league is in bed with gamblers and with gambling sites and gambling platforms and gambling in some way, shape, form, or another. Hell, it's everywhere. You can't avoid it. So that means the players are going to get involved. Look, there is no shock that 2 members of the Guardians are involved. And there's no shock whatsoever that on every single Major League Baseball team today, right now, and I'm just going to deal with baseball in a minute, but every single baseball team has at least one player on those teams that are involved in one way, shape, form, or another with some form of illicit or illegal gambling. Every single team. You want to argue with me? Go ahead. Try it. Because what you're dealing with is a game of numbers. You have so many teams, so many players, so many trainers, so many coaches, so many people who are close to the organization. But let's just keep it down to the players right now. You have so many players that are involved from so many different backgrounds. I guarantee you, without question, on every single team, I don't care who it is. I don't care how much money they're making. We'll get to that in a minute. There's a level of this illicit gambling involved because it's inevitable. It's just the number of people that are there. And not only that, but let's go ahead and deal with the money first. You have players who are making exceptional amounts of money. There's not one single player in Major League Baseball, in the NBA, in the NHL, in the NFL, in tennis, in golf, in college basketball even. Although it's a little bit different because there's not so much money flowing at this point. But in the professional sports, there's not one player who needs the money. Not one. every single one of them make enough money. If they're involved in something, let's put it this way, if they don't have enough money and they're losing their money, that's their fault. That's them paying people, paying the posse, if you will, or getting involved in homes and cars and trips and paying off money and paying off friends' debts. That's their fault. There's plenty of money involved, and they all have it. But the players are the ones who like the action, the vig, if you will. Go ahead and get it started. I want to deal in something like this. Makes me feel alive and excited. That's what gambling is. So you have players now who simply want to get involved in the action. Hey, I make $1 million a year. Hey, but I got a chance to make $20,000 in cash over here. I'm going to take that. You know why? It's the gamble. It's the excitement. It's the same thing as it is for the nickel and dime gambler, that $2 railbird that's sitting somewhere at a horse racing track, and we need to ban horse racing immediately in America. That's another story for another day. But it's the same thing. The guy or the gal who's there who can't walk away from it, who takes the last couple of bucks that they have, who wants to gamble it, wants to see if they can win, wants to see if they can beat the house. It's the same thing with these athletes. They all want to see if they can beat the house for a couple of bucks, and hey, that's tax-free money. I can put $20,000, $30,000 in my pocket, and I don't have to worry about telling anybody about it. No, but you're doing it illegally. You're doing it against the rules, and you're basically doing it on the outside. We've seen this before. It's not just Major League Baseball. We know it's in the NBA, and we also know that it's in college football, college basketball. We all know it's there because they all want to get involved. They all want to see if they can beat the system and make a couple of bucks. To the second thing about these players, many of these players have come from bad backgrounds. Many of them come from places where they didn't make a lot of money. They grew up as kids, they didn't make a buck here and there, so now they've got a chance to make more money, more money, more money, more money, more money. And because that career is only a few years, and we all know this, if you're smart, in any one of these major sports, the career is maybe what, 2 years? On average, maybe 3 years. So they want to make as much money as they can while they can. So while they got the contract over here, they figure, it's only a couple of bucks here. Look, I'm just going to tip the guy on a couple of pitches here and there. It's no big sweat. It's no skin off anybody's ass. I can go ahead and make a few bucks and it's easy. But it's still game fixing. But they still come down to the fact that they didn't make a lot of money when they were kids. They got a chance to make money now. So they're going to go ahead and take it. And now comes the next one. Because many of these athletes are simply entitled. From the time they are high school athletes to, not even that, pee-wee athletes to high school and then to college, many of these athletes have been entitled. They've been goaded into it. They are treated special. They have no sense whatsoever of what life is like off the court, off the field, or at any time whatsoever. They don't know how to balance a bank account. They don't care. They haven't had to do that because they got people doing it for them. And now with NIL money, they again have managers and people who are taking care of their money. Hey, I got a few million in the bank. I got a few 100,000 in the bank. I'm good. They don't care. They don't know what kind of money they have. They don't know where this money goes because they have been led to this their entire careers. So they have no clue whatsoever about money. They don't know how to run money. They don't know where the money is coming from. They're only told that they're getting it. They're told, don't worry about it. Somebody else will take care of it. And they have the possibility to go out and make a couple of extra bucks on an illegal or an illicit gambling scheme. Voila! That's where we're at right now. Because it doesn't make a difference if it's the players or the individuals involved. Gambling has taken over sports in America more than any other place because we've made it fun. We've made it to the point where, don't worry about it. You think it's not illegal anymore? Come on. You can get on your phone. You can go anywhere. You can gamble any place you want. The players see it as well, and they are taking advantage of it just like every single person in America today.
Gambling has changed. It used to be you'd lose your money on slots in Vegas, but today, not only can you do that, you can also bet on your favorite sports team, on the opening coin toss, on this individual pitch, or on all three in a parlay. You can do it from your phone, your tablet, your Apple Watch. You don't just have to gamble on sports. You can gamble on esports, on video game items, on slots with those items. You can do it in Roblox or on regular stocks, on meme stocks, gamble with calls, gamble on earning calls, gamble on calls with earning calls. You can gamble on political events, world events. You can bet if Zelensky's going to wear a suit before July, if Jerome Powell is going to say inflation 50 or 60 times in September. And you don't just have to gamble on that. You can gamble on crypto coins, Trump coin, Dogecoin, Fartcoin. You can gamble on the champion of Fartcoin coin, and you can gamble on any of the posts the champion of Fartcoin has ever made on whether they will become popular or not. And if none of that's your cup of tea, you can also just gamble directly within your banking app on a game of roulette, like a gentleman. And don't even get me started on the ads. If you turn on sports, esports, podcasts, not even my favorite political show is safe.
Shout out to Prize Picks, the best app to fire on sports in the game.
You will be bombarded with gambling ads by every famous person you've ever heard of.
DraftKings.
DraftKings Sportsbook.
DraftKings Sportsbook.
Uh-oh. How did we get here? And is it a good thing that we're turning every spare moment of our lives into a game of chance? I'm betting no.
And he's right. The answer is no. There was a time when I was in sports radio where a lot of the advertising started to turn to erectile dysfunction ads. That was the big thing. And for a long time, salespeople at radio stations chased those ads because these people were spending tons of money. Nobody would take them for a long period of time because, hey, it has to do with a man's penis. We don't want to get involved in sex on our shows. But here's what happened. Years before that, they used to take bets or advertisements for nude joints, topless joints, any one of them, because they paid a lot of money. They had a lot of money coming in, and don't worry about it. It's the guy thing. We want to make sure that the guys are happy. So it was Guy Talk Radio, and it became Guy Talk advertisements. So you've got nudie joints, you've got topless joints, you've got all these places that are in there all the time making money, and then you have the erectile dysfunction ads, and those ads came along, and they made gobs of money. And you had sportscasters who were taking the money, who were saying, and now before we go ahead and talk about the Miami Dolphins, let me talk to you about your sex life. Men, are you having a good sex life? Do you have a problem in bed? And they were getting paid for it. The advertisers were paying them for these live reads. And these live reads were making them $10, $20 a pop, but they'd go ahead and do them because it's harmless. Don't worry about it. We'll make a couple of bucks. And then it was gambling. Gambling we never talked about. We were told, frankly, never mention gambling. Don't mention point spreads. Don't mention who's favored. You can say that a team is favored, but then it started to seep into television, and then it started to seep into the NFL, and it seeped into talk radio, and then it was all the gambling ads. They just started to propagate, and then there was casino ads. It blew up to where it became no big deal. It's okay. Hey, it's just a game, and guess what? It's legal now. It's legal to go into a topless joint and see a bunch of women take their clothes off. It's legal. You can do that anytime because you're an adult. It's legal to go ahead and take erectile dysfunction drugs. Don't worry about it. The government says it's good, and the FDA approves it. And now it's gambling. Gambling is legal. You can go ahead and do it. It's an addiction, people. That's what this is. And the leagues gamble on you being part of the addiction. That's why you have every single one of these athletes, and a lot of these, not athletes, but a lot of the actors and well-known people, former athletes get in there. And they're advertising for DraftKings and all the other platforms because they're making a buck. They're getting paid. That's what's paying their salary, are these advertisements. And it's legal. I can't say anything about it. It's all legal. You can do it if you're of age. You can place all the bets you want. But what's happened is sports has become less about the game and more about the action. People want to be involved. People want to make a buck. I want to go ahead and beat the odds. I want to see if we can beat the odds. It's only $10. It's only $5. It's only 10, then 20, then 50, then 100, then $1,000. It's no big deal. You are being suckered by these gambling platforms into letting you know it's okay. Don't worry about it. And that seeps down to the players because the players are around it. Look, the gambling money that's coming into the NFL and Major League Baseball and the NBA and the NHL, where do you think that money's going? It's helping to pay the owners. It's helping to pay the leagues, helping to pay the teams, and that money may indeed filter its way down to the players. So the players find themselves making more money because there's millions being made over here I want a piece of it too. Stop telling me that's not what it is. It's an addiction. It's a gambling addiction. And the league is hoping you stay as addicted as you can. Keep betting, because the more you bet, the more money they make. And the players? Players are entitled. Don't worry about it. We can fix a pitch here and there. I can go ahead and make some guy make $35,000 on his parlay because I threw a ball instead of a strike on the 15th pitch of the game because I knew that's exactly what they were betting on, and they make a couple of bucks. But it changes the sport. We are now at a level, we are now at a time in our sports societal evolution where you have to worry about every single game that's being played. You have to think twice. Now knowing that there's pitchers out there getting into parlays who are tipping pitches, because there's coaches who are involved in helping illegal gambling, because you have players who are out here maybe missing a shot, taking an injury when they told somebody they would. You've got to be concerned now if your favorite sport is honest to basically playing the games. You have to be thinking every single night, I'm out here rooting for X team, but is there somebody on my team that's going to make sure that they lose by 2 points or that they only win by 6? Because that's how they're going to go ahead and pay off. It's not always about winning. It sometimes is about going in the tank and losing. That's what you have to be concerned about. But I'm going to tell you this. If I was asked right now what sport I'm concerned about being illicit, if you will, I'm going to tell you flat out. Basketball. The NBA is the first sport I worry about. It is the easiest sport to fix amongst them all. You have players taking bets. You have players making bets. You have players betting on themselves, betting on teammates, betting on other players, because they all talk. Everybody's involved. I would worry about the NBA. Every single game, I'm worried that the NBA is a fix. Second sport I worry about, college basketball. Why not? They're adults. Sure, they're young adults, 18, 19, 20, but they're more into the vig and getting the action than anybody else. They want to get the excitement of it. They've been involved in it. They've been trained to it. They've been evolved into it. Because for years, for all they can remember, it's been okay to gamble, okay to use the gambling bets, okay to use the apps, if you will. So I worry about those games now being fixed. Third, Major League Baseball, without a question, especially when it comes down to pitches, tipping pitches, throwing pitches to certain batters, taking 1 or 2 miles an hour off a fastball to make sure you groove it. That's been going on for decades, for eons. You've been grooving pitches to certain batters to make sure that they get a chance to hit a home run, and sometimes the batters are even in on it. But we know what's going on. And for a fourth sport to worry about in all this, the National Football League goes to it next because it's easy to miss a pass. But I got to give the leagues credit. At least there are leagues like the NBA that are getting involved, that are hiring people right now and companies to try and make sure there's no cheating going on. The one sport I don't worry about cheating, hockey. And I'll tell you why. Because hockey players come from a different mold. They come from a different society. Hockey players begin life with their families. You got mothers and fathers who are taking their kids to hockey practices at 4 o'clock in the morning so they can pick them up at 6 and get them to school on time. And then they're coming back around in the afternoon. They're picking them up from school. They're taking them to practice. They're going to their games. It is a tight family knit, not just in America, but in other countries as well. And the players grow up not thinking about the money they can make. They grow up thinking about the sport. There is more dedication to the sport of hockey with these players than there is in any one of the other sports. On par. It's easy to see. It's tough to fix. The game moves so fast. It's difficult. You're not just going to go ahead and take an injury because the team is right there and you're going to know what's going on, and you're going to have the league sitting on your ass right there, worried and looking and making sure that the game is played honestly. I don't worry about hockey being fixed in the least. And there's no one can tell me that they have any evidence that it is, because these are players who at the beginning of the day and the end of the day, there's a passion. There's a camaraderie for the sport. There's a concern about the sport. Right now, you've got players involved in the NBA and college basketball and in Major League Baseball who don't give a damn about the sport. They don't care about the legacy of the sport. All they care about is putting a couple of bucks in their pocket. And they're going to do it, and they're going to continue to do it. Punish them? What are you going to do? Kick them out of the game after it's been done? Sure. And then there's more coming. The problem with it is you have a generation that is coming up that is involved in gambling, that sees it as okay. And when that generation is gone, when those 30, 20-somethings are gone, you've got 20 and teen-somethings that are involved. How much you want to bet that there's already side bets going on, and it has been for years, at Little League games? I'll bet you my kid hits a home run and yours doesn't. Here's $2. I'll go ahead and play it. Happens all the time. We're an addicted nation to gambling. Sports is in bed with it. Sports is pushing it. Sports is keeping it alive and keeping it a multi-billion-dollar business every single day. What are you going to do? I hate to say it that way, but if you're an adult, you have the right to gamble. You can go any place you want and you can do it. And people are doing it because of the fun. But in essence, it still is a worry about the players that are involved. And until we're able to ferret them out, to find a way to stop it, to be involved in every facet of every game, in every locker room somewhere, it's going to continue again. And there's a good chance your players on your team are involved in fixing games. It's happening right now.
Ed Berliner, the fastest show in sports.